It's aviation's final frontier. Cowboy pilots who deliver small, used aircraft.
Why is this thing not working? Freaking A, man.
Across distances they were never meant to fly.
The most extreme type of flying you can do.
Slow down.
Every plane I fly in, I expect is trying to kill me.
It's not a job for everyone.
Heading home.
But there's always someone daring enough to take it on.
Dude, my stomach's turning a little bit.
Oh, what was that?
And live to fly another day.
This has been a delivery from hell.
Minimums.
Too low. Terrain.
This is my last stop. I'm done.
Cory McCauley is where no ferry flyer wants to be. Grounded in Brazil.
Dang it.
With the clock ticking, waiting on his co-pilot.
I'm gonna be meeting Cory for the first time this morning. He's supposed to be down here at 5:30 so we can get a good and early start, but so far, no Cory.
Cory's flown almost 2/3 of this trip with another pilot.
I would like to ditch in front of a cruise ship because we'd be in the hot tub with a margarita within the hour.
Where do I shut off the gas?
But that pilot had to bail because of a schedule conflict.
I'm done. This is the end of the line.
And for Cory, the only thing worse is finding out the replacement is a guy he's never even met, his boss.
You're gonna come all the way down here to take my spot?
I've done tons of trips like these all by myself. Far more dangerous, far more difficult. To have someone come down here to help me just drives me nuts. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Speak Cory.
How we doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
As company owner, Cory Benson's priority is keeping customers on side by delivering on time. And Cory's already one step ahead.
The airport closes at 8, from 8 to noon. We're either out here by 8, and we're staying. Let's go around here on that side.
This flight is Cory's chance to crack Brazil, one of the fastest growing small plane markets in the world.
I know Cory wanted to do this by himself, but the first flight into a new country is so important for us. If they're happy, they may tell a couple people. If they're pissed off, they're gonna tell the world.
And Cory's client expects the plane at his Brazilian ranch in less than 48 hours.
I'm gonna go check weather and file a flight plan. If you wanna get her untied, either go in the office right there or talk to the guy with the truck.
Cory and Cory are still finding their feet as a team, and it's costing them precious time.
Oh, we gotta pay the landing fees too, so yeah.
A scheduled airport closure leaves them less than an hour to get off the ground.
If we don't get out of here by 8 o'clock, we're stuck till probably tomorrow, because by noon, we won't have enough time to finish the legs we need to get done today.
Today's plan is ambitious. Log more than 1,800 kilometers over dense Brazilian jungle, where landing strips are scarce, if it all goes bad.
All right, we're all set.
It's a 10-hour day that puts them down just before sunset, but only if they're wheels up within minutes.
Thanks. We got 30 minutes to get off the ground.
All right, let's get this moment.
The plane they're delivering is a Beechcraft Bonanza. Cory's brought it almost 5,000 kilometers with no mechanical problems.
No.
Until now.
We do not have time to dink around with this. What the hell? We got no power for the plane. Well, if we can't get this started in a couple of minutes, then it means we're staying here for a while.
Do you want me to go see if the fuel truck has a jumper?
Cory and Cory now have 15 minutes before the runway closes. No time to install a new battery.
Why do we have totally dead battery?
Here he is. We need to get jumped and get out of here. Can you jump us? We're having a really difficult time communicating. I'm not sure if they know what we need, but we have less than 10 minutes to get the airplane jumped and off the ground. He has no idea what I'm trying to say. Battery dead. We need to plug in.
You got that?
We gotta hurry, though. They're closing the runway.
Time we got.
We really do only have a few minutes.
Emergency troubleshooting goes with the territory. But it's easier if you know the guy you're in deep with.
Come on!
Cory's usual go-to guy is a veteran pilot, Randy McGee.
That light means we have 10 minutes left of fuel. Holy.
Together, Cory and Randy have been through hell
What was that?
and high water. But right now, Randy's on another mission in Canada's far north. He's here trying out for the ferry flight of a lifetime.
Dave?
Sir.
Hey, Randy McGee.
Randy, nice to finally meet you.
Nice to
man.
meet you,
How's it
too.
going?
The United Nations needs this plane in Africa to help save lives in South Sudan, the world's newest country. And the twin-engine Dornier is perfect for the job. It carries twice the cargo of other turboprops and can nail a short runway, paved or not. Ideal for the rough and tumble world of UN relief missions.
You can land this thing fully loaded in 500 feet, so you can get her stopped pretty quick.
Wow.
If you come in slow.
That's impressive.
Randy's at the bottom of a steep learning curve.
I haven't seen anything like that.
He's never flown a Dornier, and he's got just 2 days to learn. And even though he's racked up an impressive 10,000 plus hours of flying time, the Dornier will force him to up his game.
When I learned he was an airline pilot, I had concerns. Randy flies a 767. I mean, that's a big jet. But if you even talk to Randy, how much does he actually fly the aircraft? Well, not really. You push a button and it sort of does its magic, right? To jump into something like this now, where you're actually hands and feet back to old school, what you used to do, if you haven't done it for a long time, anyone's gonna get rusty.
Aircraft flight manual here. Your standing operating procedures. The company operations manual is there.
Looks pretty bad, man.
It is a lot of info.
That's a lot of reading.
There is, but you're an airline pilot, man. You can figure it out.
It's like a fire hose in the mouth. It's a lot of information, and you got to take it in as quickly as you can get it.
We'll give Randy as much assistance as we can, but he's going to have to pick up the ball and run with it himself. We've got 9 other airplanes I'm worrying about all over the world. Shortly after your guys are all done for the day?
Done for the day.
Yeah, I'm feeling the pressure on everything I got to learn. It's a lot, and it's a big responsibility.
It's a big step up for the Dornier, too. Its latest posting was hauling passengers and cargo around Canada's north. But for its new war zone tour of duty, the Dornier got a nose-to-tail upgrade. UN branding, the latest in navigation systems, and a brand new coat of armor.
The main gear's got clamshell doors that clip up and seal it right in. We have a Kevlar coating on the belly, so this is bulletproof, basically. So we got all our markings on it, United Nations under this wing and on the top of the left wing. They're very specific on where they want them, eh? There's also a UN under the belly that hopefully means don't shoot.
Wonder if that gives us much protection at all, though.
I guess for those who can read and don't have a problem with the UN.
The last part of this trip, we're going into a really unstable part of the world. There's a lot of areas that we want to avoid overflying and definitely don't want to land in.
This is your basic layout. We got our normal checklist here.
All right, so where's the autopilot at?
We don't have autopilot, so
There's no autopilot on this plane? So we're gonna hand fly this thing like 9,000 miles. I didn't know that. On top of having to learn all the emergency procedures, normal procedures, and everything else, now I've got to be reverting back to my old flying and having to concentrate on just flying the airplane. I don't think I've flown a plane like this without an autopilot or flight director since 10, 15 years ago.
it's just a different style of flying. This is all hands and feet, so you do get lazy. I mean, I flew for the airlines, and yeah, you lose your hands and feet flying. And here it's all we do. We don't have autopilots, so we're landing on some, sometimes a 1,500-foot ice strip. So you're really flying the bus. The old saying, you can make hundreds of errors, but you just can't make any mistakes. Now, if he can't do the job, then he's not going. It's as simple as that.
For ferry pilot Randy McGee, it's all or nothing. His rare shot at delivering a United Nations plane to Africa all comes down to these next few minutes.
Company 207.
207, this company, go ahead.
Maxing out for a training flight with Randy.
All right, man, your brakes, your control.
Out of the airplane.
Randy's never flown a Dornier.
Let's do it.
How this airplane lands and flies will be just a little different. You want to have that finesse and good hands, but it's not always that easy.
Power set. Airspeed's alive both sides. You have 2 good engines.
To ace this test, Randy has to respond to every tilt and roll of the plane. It's all about having the perfect touch.
All right, man, it's your plane. Just bank around, get used to it, have some fun.
That rolls quick. I'm actually not used to that. That's cool.
Yeah, very responsive, isn't it? It's like a Ferrari.
I was expecting it to be a little more stable, to be honest.
This ain't no ball.
The Dornier is old school flying. All hands and feet, no autopilot. Randy puts the Dornier through its paces, turns, climbs, and some of the scarier stuff.
You want to run a stall or something, or?
Just call stall max power.
Stall max power?
We're set.
Climbing right out of it pretty good.
Yeah, you don't need to pitch for it at all. It'll just power right through it. Let's go. Way overpowered, this airplane's off.
All right, sweet.
Well, for no autopilot, you're doing pretty good, man.
No V-bar, we're talking about no flight directors. I'm actually going to have to start flying again.
Not having any issues with this thing. For all the airline pilots, though, he's terrible. He's terrible.
I was expecting him to be rusty, especially on his altitude control. And he was nailing his altitude, even in a steep turn. I'm looking, and he's got it just on the rails going around the corner.
Randy's hand flying is impressive. But the most challenging part is just ahead. The Dornier was built for balance. Heavy cargo in the rear, and passenger bags in the specially designed nose. Putting that nose down gently takes a skillful hand.
The nose is going to want to drop out on you. So you got to really catch it, okay? Don't let it just go bang. Just feel it. The nose will come down, let it just sort of drop by itself, and then just check it back hard.
All right, I'll try, man.
And use as much as you want so you can figure out where those wheels are.
All right.
Rough plus 15, looking good. I'm looking sweet. Very nice, sir. That was outstanding, brother.
Thanks, man. I was working for it, though.
Tell you
I
what.
gotta say, I was working for it.
Randy's earned his seat on the Dornier. But more than 8,000 kilometers south, Randy's colleague, Cory Benson, is still stuck on the ground.
Anyone else we should talk to, do you think?
Cory and senior pilot Kerry McCauley have one dead battery and a runway about to close. Others scramble to beat the deadline. Cory and Kerry's chances of getting a jump start for their Beechcraft Bonanza are slipping away.
I don't know. I think they're broke down too. Oh, maybe he's gonna pull the battery. Yeah, I think this is too close.
Somehow, despite a serious language barrier, the locals have figured out the foreigners need a boost.
Oh, you're just gonna swap them? Or no? Okay, I see.
They've pulled a working battery to jolt the Bonanza out of its coma.
Good.
Oh, man, talk about cutting it close. Jeez. Because it is 8 o'clock right now. Where? He says,
A good co-pilot is like a relief pitcher, always ready to take over the game.
Gary, with this being the first time that we've flown together, what do you want me doing? How do you want the cockpit etiquette to work out?
You know, I do have quite a bit more experience. I guess, you know, I'd like to be the captain, but I always work as a team.
And Cory needs to know what kind of a teammate Cory's gonna be.
Within the first minute, we got to get it figured out. We don't have time to get to know each other and time to figure out how each other flies.
You really never know what another pilot's going to be like till you fly with him. I need a guy that's going to, keep his cool and be good in an emergency.
A good way to find out what your co-pilot's made of is to see how he handles an unexpected adrenaline rush. Like buzzing the Amazon at treetop level.
Okay, let's drop her down here a little bit and do a little yeehaw. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. Too much fun. This is awesome. Oh man, I love this stuff. Who gets to do this? Who gets to buzz the Amazon first thing in the morning?
So I think he just wanted to make sure that I'm not going to be some wimp pilot, because this is definitely not the job for a wimpy pilot.
He passed with flying colors. He was digging it. We were having a ball. A couple of kids in a candy store was what we were. Oh, this is fun. All right, let's get back to work. We got places to go. Good that you came down to help out, though.
I'm so happy I'm here. This is awesome.
In this tiny airborne clubhouse, Cory's passed the initiation. Far north of the equator, in Canada's Northwest Territories, Randy McGee's also made the cut.
We're ready to hit the skies. I can't wait to get airborne,
The veteran pilot has mastered the Dornier systems, earning a place in the cockpit on a demanding United Nations flight.
The pressure's on us. We gotta get the plane over there.
It's a risky trip. From the far north, they'll cross the rough North Atlantic, then over continental Europe into the heart of Africa. More than 12,500 kilometers.
One spare of everything.
Randy's used to being called Captain, but on this flight, he'll answer to Dave Matheson.
Ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Summit 202, clear takeoff runway 10.
Clear takeoff 10, Summit 202.
All right, brother, you have control.
Is that max power?
For
Max power
your
is
on route altitude, is that correct?
There's
That's
fly both sides.
5 on
We
4.
got 2 good engines. Goodbye, Yelnay.
I love this machine, man.
First position director Cowboy, maintain 9,000 control from the 202.
The first leg stretches nearly 2,300 kilometers to the remote northern community of Iqaluit.
Well, we're not Kansas anymore, man. There is nothing around here but tundra and water.
Short 15 miles. I've got some type of light ahead, but that could be anything right now.
Got it? Yeah, it's a town. It's kind of blurry, still some clag in the way. I don't even worry about it, though. I just flies in numbers.
Cowboy radio, good evening. Summit 202.
They're putting down for the night to refuel the plane and themselves.
Right, warm for a Callow at this time of year, huh?
Warm is -20. To avoid a mammoth de-icing job, the plane must be towed indoors. Delivering planes is the ultimate in no-frills flying, where you're not just the pilot, you're also the ground crew.
It's just a pain in the ass because it's freezing out there. You're tired from the flight. You know you have an early morning, and we're having to do our own work.
The joys of Arctic travel.
What little sleep they get here, they'll need. In front of them is a 10,000-kilometer marathon, with the finish line in a combat zone. By the next day, sleep is a distant memory. It's been long hours of jockeying this United Nations Dornier on its trip to Africa.
Hey, I want to see Greenland here. It looks cool, or at least...
Yeah, if it's not clouded over, it is nice.
Now at the 1/4 mark, they're approaching Greenland.
Yeah, once we cross these rocks, that glacier, and then it's hitting the bay there, that'd be cool.
Randy sees a photo op. But after hours of butt-numbing boredom,
Iceberg coming up with a hole right through the middle of it.
Dave sees a slalom course.
Minimums.
It's just for fun. Still, skimming this ice field requires absolute precision.
Too low. Terrain.
Here, the nimble Dornier shows what it's made of. Quick and responsive. So is Dave, who honed skills like this competing in aerobatics.
The most fun I can do in an airplane really is aerobatics. That's a real test. You know, it takes a lot of discipline, a lot of practice, a lot of training.
Dave has great hands. He can manipulate that airplane and make it do whatever he wants. I have a lot of respect for that.
With the icebergs in their rear view, it's back to the business of rationing fuel for the long trip ahead.
Are we there yet?
It's gonna be a long trip for you, my friend.
Yeah, big time.
In the lower latitudes, above Brazil, Cory Benson is learning that the co in co-pilot is short for cooperate.
Usually it's helpful that, one of us is doing the navigating, so, if you want to... Okay. Looking up frequencies and stuff like that. Okay, gotcha.
Generally, when we're on our other ferry flights, we switch back and forth, but he definitely likes to be the captain. He's in the left seat, and that's the way it is.
They push into the heart of Brazil, and at the end of 1,800 kilometers, the Beechcraft Bonanza is ready for a fuel up.
You want to do this one?
Carey likes to drive, but in an emergency, he might have to hand over the reins.
Sure.
Which is why he needs to see Cory in action.
As I recall, that's the runway that you come over a hill and a road and a fence. And as you touch down, the whole runway is downhill. So it's kind of tough to land on. You need to have your speed under control. You don't want to be going any faster than 75, 8 the max.
This is Cory's chance to show Carey that he's more than just a passenger.
Go ahead, new traffic, Bonanza 5603, Mike. Turning left downwind 13, go ahead. Looks like it's a quartering tailwind from the left. A little high. Dump full flaps.
With a tailwind and a sloping runway, Cory needs to keep a lid on his speed.
Okay, gas, 3 green undercarriage, make sure props pumps, you're really fast. You're 90, 95.
Cory's coming in too hot and too high.
Watch your speed.
At this speed and altitude, he'll overshoot the runway.
Okay, let's hang a hard right.
Carey calls off the landing.
So you're thinking it's best to come in the other way?
Yeah, upwind's best, but we gotta be on the numbers and stuff. Okay, let's get some power back though. We're doing 110 now. Here, you got it. All right, slow her up. Here we're doing 100. It's gonna be a right crosswind. Looking better this time, doing 90, but you're more on the glide path here.
Cory's got the situation under control, but Carey's still riding him.
Get out, watch your speed. 85, 80, 75, 70. Drop your nose.
At the last second, Carey cuts the power and takes control of the plane.
Flaps coming up. I got the brakes. I have the plane. Nicely done. You got the door.
Unless it's life or death, seizing control from another pilot is bad form.
Yeah, sorry about that power thing. I shouldn't have done that. That's all right. I got a little carried away.
Airspeed was fine, everything was fine, and he went and just chopped the throttle. reach over and take controls unless there's a danger, which there definitely wasn't a danger.
I kind of screwed up his landing by cutting his power a little bit. But, you know, flying from the right seat is tough. This runway's got a big hill on it, and yeah, it was no big deal.
Cory may be Carey's boss, but in the cockpit, the guy with the most experience is top dog, period.
Why is the power still on? Yeah, let's get out to the battery quick. So
This morning, the plane needed a jump start. Now, a reverse problem. They can't power down.
battery will drain in no time.
It's like pulling the keys from your car ignition to find the radio still on.
You want to hand me my knife?
Carey suspects a critical electrical wire is somehow stuck.
Oh, did that do it? Something went.
Because I turned on the master and I turned it off, but everything's still lit up.
Try it again. Everything's still lit up, huh? Well, that's not good. Beats the hell out of me.
Handing over damaged goods is bad for business, especially when you're trying to break into a hot new market like Brazil.
The first thing that's going to go through the new owner's mind is it something that our pilots or that we did? And we definitely don't want that.
It's a new one on me.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
There's not much time to solve this mystery. The owner wants his plane in less than 24 hours. Now, in Egypt, Randy and Dave are facing trouble of their own.
Morning, dude.
Super Dave.
How's it going, bro?
Good, man.
How'd you sleep?
Really great, actually. How about you?
I've been up since 1, crunching numbers.
In 4 days, they've come 9,700 kilometers. But it's the last 3,000 that they're really worried about. Flying over war-ravaged South Sudan.
Flight planners have us taking 6 hours and 37 minutes. And we have 7 hours of fuel. 23 minutes reserve, which is not enough.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Even with a full tank, their assigned flight plan from Egypt to South Sudan leaves them barely enough gas to finish the trip. Pilots call it fuel critical.
So if we get any kind of a headwind, basically we won't make it. So I've been racking my brain all night trying to figure out how to make it work. If we can get any kind of a tailwind, it'll increase it to probably about 40 to 45 minutes of fuel, which is perfect. But a headwind, we won't make it.
What other options do we have?
I checked, didn't even land the cartoon. It's not an option. They said don't bother. It takes 48 hours to get permission, and it's sketchy.
Yeah, it's not my first option. We don't have any other place to go, though, huh?
There's no friendly place to land between here and there. It's almost 1,200 miles. And when we start up, we need an immediate taxi and also an immediate turn on course.
Yep.
Otherwise, they could vector us out 100 miles before they get us on course. We don't have them. So hopefully they play ball.
From the moment they switch on their engines, they're eating into their already slim fuel reserve.
All right, man. Fuel's critical. We need to take off as soon as possible.
Roger. Summit 202 requesting position. We're ready to take off.
But the guy in the control tower has other ideas.
Negative.
Damn it.
Meanwhile, it's early morning in Brazil, and Cory Benson and Carey McCauley are troubleshooting. Hours later, they're no further ahead.
Here's the starter.
Make sure not to burn this battery down.
Their plane is sucking power, and not even the mechanic knows why.
I'm hearing the clunk, so something's working. Something's happening.
But it's not happening fast enough. Right now, the only way to turn off the power to the plane is to pull the plug on the battery.
It ain't perfect. Definitely unhooking the battery every time you shut the plane off is not an ideal situation, but
Especially delivering it to the new owner
I
and
know,
have to get out and disconnect the battery.
that's gonna kill me if I gotta say, it's got one little quirk. You gotta disconnect the battery every time you shut the plane off.
It's a safety feature, though.
Safety. It's an anti-theft device.
Yeah.
The plane's owner is expecting delivery in just a couple of hours.
I'm gonna call the owner real quick, just give him an update. Just gonna send the owner an email. I tried to call him on his numbers and couldn't get through. I think he's a little anxious to get his airplane.
Delivering a temperamental plane is better than no plane at all. Cory decides to push on right after a quick refuel.
Huh, it turned off.
Master switch, when they turned it off, all the power went off, so everything's cold, huh?
Yeah. Cool. We fixed it. You gotta love it when a plan comes together.
When something breaks and then it fixes itself. For me, that's the scariest part because you never know when it's gonna break again, but it is gonna break again. And it's generally at the very worst place when it stops working again.
This is looking really good. We got guys giving us gas. The master switch is working again. We got a beautiful day and only 2 hours left to go. We're golden, baby. We're not even gonna be late. That's like the first time.
Hey, Cory, we're not in the air yet.
Huh?
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. That's true. We are out of here.
In Egypt, Randy McGee and Dave Matheson are wasting fuel, desperate to get off the ground.
Air uniform 202, line up via Charlie, runway 17. Accept?
Sure.
Accept, sir?
Yeah, accepted.
They're sent to the far side of the airport to await permission to take off. Another gas-guzzling delay.
We're trying to take off and get out of here quick, and he's not helping us.
Their flight plan leaves them only 23 minutes of reserve fuel. Every second on the ground will cost them in the air.
Air uniform 202. Clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, finish up 212 from Alpha Sierra November, VOR, summit 202.
All right, buddy, you ready, hotshot?
All set, let's get going.
Finally, they get clearance to take off.
Air uniform 202, airborne time 18. Have a nice day.
Their plane, a Dornier, is a strong climber. But in the desert, the air temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. The plane's engines are having to work harder, burning through the gas.
So hot, man. Our performance is, we're getting killed.
Worse, the guys in the control tower have assigned them a flight plan that looks more like a cow trail. Dave radios air traffic control, asking for a more direct route to save on fuel.
Sure, summit 202. Is there any chance you could approve us direct Golf, Oscar, Papa, Delta, Alpha? Just because we're fuel critical on this leg, sir, and it would help us out a lot. Be nice to us, buddy.
Please, after contact with Cairo radar, you can take this clearance, Sierra from 202.
It's bad news.
Yeah, by the time we get to 110, it won't matter. We're fuel critical.
Air traffic control has ordered them to climb to 11,000 feet, contact another control tower, and try again.
Fucking hell, man. Friggin' 100 miles in the wrong direction is not gonna help. It's 45 degrees off our track.
Nice when you're sitting on the ground, air conditioning, and you're not up here worrying about running out of fuel, you know?
30 minutes later, they're in airspace controlled by another tower.
Cairo, good morning. Sierra Uniform 202, 110. Request present position direct. Golf, Oscar, Papa, Delta, Alpha. Fuel critical.
I can't give you permission to overfly direct to this point. All I can do with you is to proceed direct no bar. November Uniform Bravo Alpha Romeo.
That's straight in the frickin' line.
Translation, request denied. Again.
That's why he won't turn us. I mean, he probably can't even work with Sudan airspace, you know?
Randy and Dave will get one last shot at shaving time off this trip, but not until the halfway point. And with just 23 minutes of spare fuel to begin with, halfway could come too late. In the skies above Brazil, This Beechcraft Bonanza is trouble-free after some earlier power problems. It's a lot more mellow in the cockpit as well.
What the hell is that?
Cory, meet Hula Girl. Hula Girl was with me on all my ferry trips when I was a young lad. And she's kind of like my good luck charm, so I always bring her with on all my trips. Unfortunately,
you break her leg one day?
Oh, Hula Girl had an accident.
Pretty interesting there, buddy.
Yeah, well, we've all got our quirks. You gotta have somebody to talk to on the long flights.
Oh, that is funny.
Cory prefers flying solo, and he's been adjusting to a co-pilot who's also the boss. But after tens of thousands of kilometers with Hula Girl, Cory's beginning to appreciate the live audience.
Have you had any emergencies, Cory?
Well, yeah. Lost an engine in a 182 hauling jumpers. Lost an engine in a Queen Air hauling jumpers. Lost my alternator at night over the Sahara, ferry flying. Was lost over the jungle in the middle of Africa, ferry flying. Lost my ferry tank fuel pressure system in the middle of the Atlantic at night while ferry flying. Yeah, so I've had some emergencies.
You've had a couple. Wow.
Should read my book.
Do you really have a book?
Yeah, I'm almost done.
Oh, this is going to be like a whole new chapter now.
Oh, I know. I can't decide if I'm going to add this to it or have it a second book, you know?
Oh, my God.
It's like, my life doesn't stop. I can't finish the damn book. Just keep it.
After more than 8,700 kilometers over stormy seas and dense jungle, the Bonanza is now within sight of the new owner's ranch.
All right, how's my mixture is good, gas is good.
All eyes will be on them. The landing needs to be perfect. But the runway is far from it.
That's definitely not a international airport runway. Gonna be a little challenging.
Yeah, remember here, Cory, no pressure, but the owner's watching you.
Ah. Oh, good. At least I got that going for me. No pressure and all.
Above the African desert, landing is the last thing Randy and Dave want to do right now.
We're fuel critical on this leg to make Juba. Is there any possibility we could get direct?
They alert air traffic control as they approach Sudan. It's a war zone. Putting down here could get them kidnapped, or worse.
We just did 1 hour. We burned 656 pounds. I'll get back to that in a second.
Short on gas, Randy and Dave have been asking for a more direct flight path. Twice denied, they have one last chance.
Sir, no copy from Khartoum at all. Could you relay?
They can't raise air traffic control on the radio.
Awesome, we're in hostile airspace and we can't talk to anybody.
After several attempts, finally, they make contact.
Sir, inform 202 radar contact. Would you say again your request?
And sir, from Sierra Uniform 202, any chance for direct Romeo Alpha Bravo Alpha Kilo? We are fuel critical. I say again, we will be fuel critical. It is imperative we get a straighter line than this.
That means go ask your boss, diphead. Come on, baby, give it to us.
Negative, military area.
Thanks for no help.
What a dick. And he knows we're fuel critical.
You know he could give it to us. And we're a United Nations flight. We're not there to bomb anybody.
Out of options, they're banking on a smooth flight with no surprises. And in ferry flying, that's asking for a miracle. Above Brazil, Cory Benson knows there's a lot riding on these next few seconds. It's his first delivery into the Brazilian market, his red carpet moment. But the runway is a dirt patch roller coaster.
Oh, he's got a fence stand too.
75.
Flaps coming up.
Well done, well done.
Whew.
What an entrance.
That was a little more nerve-wracking than I was anticipating. That was sporty.
Excellent. Wow, this is beautiful here.
Hi, how are you?
Very nice to meet you.
Huh?
This is beautiful here.
Yeah, you did
Beautiful.
Good trip.
Phenomenal.
See.
Nice, huh?
First time to get to see it, yeah.
First time I touch it. Very good. I like the...
Hula girl.
Not enough. That's my hula girl, eh?
Think you brought the gift for me?
No.
Let's toast, huh? Yeah.
Hey, to the new plane.
To the new plane.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Cheers.
To the delivery of the Bonanza.
Yeah, cheers, dude.
This is probably the best welcome that I've ever had, delivering airplanes. These people have just been so incredibly generous and excited, and you know, this is a passion of his. That's one of the fun parts about delivering some of these smaller planes. He's going to be using this, him and his wife and his family, coming to the ranch just like what we did here, and it was just a great welcome.
Oh, we're gonna be like that, are we?
Over Africa, a run of bad luck has finally turned around for Randy McGee and Dave Matheson.
195, we picked up a couple knots.
Not great, but I'll take it.
They started this flight with just 23 minutes of fuel to spare, what pilots call fuel critical. But Mother Nature's thrown them a bone, a tailwind that lets them ease up on the throttle and use less fuel.
Every knot helps. Try to squeeze 200 knots out of this thing if we can. 197.
To bleed every ounce of mileage from the Dornier, Randy and Dave need to work this plane super efficiently.
I mean, we look like we're trimmed out perfect, so our drag's as low profile as possible. We got up as cool as we can, gives us cool engines, less fuel flow off our engine, so that gives better range and endurance. I can't think of anything else we can do right now. We really got to start calculating that fuel. We're already losing our tailwind.
Speeds dropped to 193. Damn it.
That's not what we want to see.
Damn it. We're down to 300 pounds reserve right now. But that's doing direct. That's not with all this horse that got us going.
Even with every fuel-saving trick in the book, the detours ordered by air traffic control have been sucking the gas.
300 pounds of fuel left, which means we have 15 minutes.
15 minutes of spare fuel leaves them no margin for error.
We've lost another 3 knots already since you started this fuel calculation. Everything's trending against us right now. We're losing time, we're losing airspeed, we're burning more fuel. It's not looking real good.
And the view out their front windscreen is worse.
Look at this, man.
Damn it.
In Africa, storms can be sudden and fierce. Randy's about to get his first taste.
We can't go around that. We're gonna have to pick our way through it.
The plane is too low on fuel to dodge this storm. They have to hit it head on.
Bro, that's bad.
Doesn't feel that bad.
Dude, that is lazy.
Next time on Dangerous Flights. Fireworks at 11,000 feet.
Dude, we're in all sorts of trouble right now, man.
Randy and Dave's Desert Storm isn't done with them yet. While in the far north, there's another rough ride into one of the most dangerous airports in the world. This time on dangerous flights.
I don't know what's going on.
Where's that other piece?
Panic at 22,000 feet.
That's some angry looking.
Icebreaker.
This plane can't handle clear icing.
Pete and Cory face down a king-size storm.
Let's get down there hastily, okay?
And Carrie and Marcio's single engine.
I'm not comfortable being this far out of water, this low, with that engine not... Okay, I got it.
Comes with an attitude.
Let's roll. I was speaking thunder for the rain. Here we go. All sounds to rumble.
Are you kidding me right now?
You're crossing the border. You're crossing the border.
We climb to 7,000 feet. Alright. Well, now we can see the runway. Do you see it?
Yep, I do.
Okay.
This is one of the shortest, steepest, most dangerous runways in the world.
During the final, there is no missed approach because in front of you you have a mountain.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
Few pilots even attempted. Pete lives for it.
When you start descending, you cannot make go around.
Okay.
You have to land.
You have to land.
You have to land.
There's no opportunity, there's no second chance. Make it right and land the plane.
Nail this, and Pete'll have conquered almost every high-risk airport on the planet. That's gold in the small plane delivery game.
So your enemy point would be
The trees.
a little bit higher, between the trees and the runway. Maintain altitude for the moment,
Good, sir.
and now we can start descending.
Got it. Right now, the sun is really making it tough on final.
Yeah.
The airstrip's so steep, Pete needs full power, even after landing.
And increase power.
Pete's full throttle, but it's not enough.
You have full power?
Yep, full power.
It's so steep, we got stuck. They had to help us push. If you're on approach and it doesn't go well, you hit a wall. Anybody can use advanced training to make them a better, safer pilot. I got the certificate, and I'm ready to go.
Good thing, because Pete will have to attempt this landing without an instructor on his next job.
That is a fun plane.
Hoping these guys can tell us a little bit more about it.
Cory's already scoping out Pete's next delivery.
Here she is, boss. It's gonna get you across the ocean.
How does it look?
Looks clean. Looks real nice.
Cory buys and sells small aircraft all over the world. But delivering the plane to the client is the real rush.
It's always fun to walk up to these planes for the first time, though. You know?
It is.
Knowing that we're going to be doing this incredible, epic, dangerous flight over the ocean in winter.
Yeah, you always pick the good seasons. Is that just luck or?
Bargo, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Everybody would do it.
One sour deal can bankrupt an airplane business, but Cory keeps upping his game.
We're expanding so fast that it's almost a little scary. It's just mind-boggling to think that I touched 22 countries within a year. It's like a dream. It's definitely a challenge that we deal with every single day, and even if you're doing more business, there's stresses from every corner.
Russ helps take the load off.
Looks good from here.
In this racket, a top-notch mechanic helps make sure you see your next birthday.
Every time I walk up to an airplane, I can just get a feel for it. I can just do a walk around. I can tell if she's been maintained or if it's been neglected.
Russ has got my back. I generally don't fly a plane until he tells me it's okay. Aha! Look who's here! Super Pete. What's up, boss?
What's happening, dude?
How you doing, man?
Good. Good trip down?
He has a reputation in the flying world. He's a test pilot, and I'm lucky enough to be able to learn and travel with the best of them, and it's gonna be just an epic adventure.
So this is our ride for the next 58 hours, 12 stops, 14 countries.
They face the teeth-rattling cold of the far north, where after 8 hours, even the sun calls it quits. Then take another shot at that death-defying runway Pete just conquered and brace for the dangerous, war-torn deserts of Sudan. Last stop, Kenya, an epic journey of almost 18,000 kilometers.
I have 17,000 hours. I've flown 250 types of airplane, hundreds of test flights. I still love it, though. It's hard to explain. When you love something, you just love it. All right, you want to hop in?
Pete and Cory are itching to kick off the journey, starting with a test drive.
Hello, traffic. Caravan 8, November Tango on the roll. 3-4, left traffic.
Never tell you I love my job.
Doesn't suck, does it?
Airspeed's alive, both sides. Pressures and temperatures look good. She's wanting to fly.
Autopilot's working, boss.
This 1990 Cessna Caravan is a slow ride, but it's got swagger.
It's a very robust airplane. It has rugged landing gear, and it can carry a lot of weight.
Well, I like what I see.
Yeah, so far so good.
But a used plane can hide some ugly scars.
Abbeville traffic, Caravan 8, November Tango is downwind runway 3-4, gonna be a low flyby.
To find them, you want to push the plane while you still have a runway around.
Yank and bang, baby. Here we go, hold on.
Pretty excited to be here in Germany.
Carrie and Marcio are joining forces for their own wild ride.
How are you, my friend?
It's a little different than Australia.
A little bit.
The last time Carrie and Marcio teamed up,
Level off.
it was in a high-flying, state-of-the-art Phenom jet that Carrie didn't know how to handle.
Last year, he was teaching me pretty much everything because I knew nothing about that plane. Roles are kind of reversed this time. He hasn't flown a propeller-driven airplane in a really long time.
This mission is absolutely completely different from my normal environment. I've been flying all this big, enormous jets, but now I'm flying this little bitty Mosquito, you know, with one little propeller going. So we'll see how it goes.
Don't worry, this is the warm part of the flight. It gets colder. We're going a lot further north.
Marcio's also out of his element on the ground.
You know, for a Brazilian guy like me.
Whoa!
Okay.
Went to save his computer.
Hold on. Gotta recuperate a little bit.
Shake it up, puppy. You hit hard.
It knocked the wind out of my lungs.
See, your only experience up till now with ice is in drinks.
That's right.
When it's on the ground, it's dangerous.
We don't do that. I don't know why people live here. I am bleeding, by the way.
Oh, no.
Great way to start a flight.
Cory and Pete want to be wheels up within the hour.
Test flight went good. Everything checks out really nice. Plane flies good.
All right, let's close everything, lock everything, and get out of here.
But Russ has a nose for trouble.
Let's see what we got here. Avionics. Which really sucks. Hey, Cory!
Yeah?
What is your O2 gauge reading?
What's that?
Hey, guys. What does that oxygen gauge read up there?
0.0.
That's what I was afraid of. We got a nice oxygen system and no gas.
So it either leaks or it's empty.
Right. We won't know that till we fill it.
Okay.
The Caravan isn't pressurized like a commercial jet. If Cory and Pete try to fly high without oxygen, they could both pass out.
If we get in the middle of some serious icing and the only way out of it is to climb up, we need the oxygen so we're able to do that.
One tip-off icing might be in your future when brutal weather is.
Let me show you the satellite shot.
That's nice. Spinning right in our path.
Yep. And that looks like headwind and significant icing.
Fargo, we need this oxygen to work.
We're gonna get that oxygen card out there, and that's when we're gonna find out if it leaks or not. If it leaks, we got some big problems.
And the buyer thinks we left today.
God. So it's not looking good, huh?
No.
And this delay isn't helping us at all.
No, the delay is making it worse, actually. No, it's bad.
I'm on it.
Russ races to fix the oxygen system, but not fast enough for Pete and Cory.
Here, there's a big weather system that's building, and so if we leave without the oxygen being serviced, it'll put us right in the middle of weather. It could put us in worse headwinds. It could shorten the range of the airplane. So having the oxygen is a big deal.
At the very least, I would like to get a mask. You can borrow one, plug it into the front, flush the system out, give it a breath, and see if it works.
So we plug this in here, you push and turn. And then right here is the switch to turn on the oxygen system. And we should have this red turn to green showing that it's flowing, and it's not.
Hey, Russ.
Yeah, back here. It's not flowing.
Not flowing. I'm not getting any pressure through here. They either got a bad valve or a blockage in the system.
It's frustrating because we're here twiddling our thumbs, watching the weather get worse by the second.
I hope there's nothing wrong with the regulator valve.
The valve itself?
It's essentially an on-off switch.
Should be simple.
It's very simple. Either works or it doesn't, and it's not. So what I gotta do is disconnect it and trace it and find out where we're losing it.
Russ has to find a swift fix.
Every time.
Or the new buyer will be working up a storm of his own.
Is that it right there?
Yeah, that's you.
Woo! Carrie and Marcio size up the plane they'll share for the next 6 days.
Very nice.
It's very nice.
This 2010 Cirrus can fly high and fast. And unlike most small aircraft, it's not afraid of a little bad weather, thanks to its state-of-the-art de-icing system.
Now, this is even nicer than the one I flew last year.
Is it really?
Yeah. On this flight, it's kind of what my specialty is. Single engine, prop planes over the Atlantic. In the middle of the winter, it's right there on the edge. It's where I belong.
Now the question is, can I fit in it? Let's
Check it out, Bob. Let's see if you sit in that sucker. Okay, that's all you get.
All right, down, huh?
Marcio hasn't stepped up to a plane this size in 20 years.
Okay. Okay, there's might be an issue here.
Yeah, there's gonna be
an issue here.
Yeah, this is not a convertible. We can't fly it with the top down.
Are you sure? The last propeller airplane that I've flown was on my initial flight training back in Brazil, when we had to hand crank the propeller. Didn't even have a starter. So it's gonna give me some time to know the noises, the smells, the feels to the airplane. All right, so let's start putting stuff on where they belong, dude. Let's start doing that.
That's what I'm doing.
Charts, camera, life vests, GPS locator if someone needs to find us, handheld radio if someone needs to find us. This airplane is unpressurized, so we're gonna have to use oxygen as we go. One more thing that can go wrong, you know, but we don't have to deal with any of this on a big jet. Let's go.
Let's go do it. I'm pretty confident in the airplane. Not quite as confident in my co-pilot. Decided to get this baby in the air, see what she can do.
I officially don't like this.
Clear for takeoff on a 25, November Charlie Alpha. Let's go flying, puppy. Is alive. Alive and kicking. Coming up to 70. Okay, here you go. Bring it up.
Flaps up.
It's okay, bring it up, bring it up.
In a jet, Marcio would rocket straight for the sky. But takeoff in the Cirrus is more like riding an escalator.
Didn't feel the pressure in the back of my seat, you know, going straight up. It feels really weird. I mean, really, really weird. Oh man, we're gonna stall this thing, you know? Come on, I gotta get going.
Yeah, well, if you do this, you're gonna stall this thing.
I know.
It will not go.
It just feels funny.
The Cirrus is slow at takeoff,
Down to 4,000 feet, Charlie Alpha.
but now it's hard to hold her back.
You've got to be me.
They're flying too fast to land,
This thing does not like to slow down. No?
but if Carey cuts the power too much, they'll stall.
I don't want to go completely idle. This isn't a jet.
But it's too,
No, we're freaking hauling ass.
30% power.
I go below that, the engine starts running like hell.
Really?
The hell?
Are you sure?
Oh, here.
Carey bleeds off more power, and the engine threatens to quit.
Hey, I'm disconnected here. I'll give me a little slip here to slow me down to lap speed.
Carey tries an old hand-flying trick. He banks the Cirrus to the right and pushes hard on the left rudder.
That's it. All right, there we go.
It creates drag on the plane, like a hockey player skidding to a stop.
500.
It slows the Cirrus enough to lower the flaps,
Watch your speed.
but it's still fast.
Minimums. Minimums.
God, I hate this throttle.
Carey and Marcio brace for a high-speed landing.
Come on, come on. Just coming up. This bumps off.
Scare me just a little bit.
Coming into land, she doesn't like to slow down. You know, when I throttled back, it just started missing a little bit.
It didn't sound different to me. So you thought that sounded
Oh yeah,
a little different?
I could feel it. You get in tune with these engines, you know, everything's nice and smooth and humming. As soon as I could feel it, you know, I was squeezing that throttle back ever so slightly, and all of a sudden I could feel the dun, dun, dun. She started running just a little bit rough.
We jet people, we train and train and train and train that, okay, what if I lose one engine? What do? You do this, this, and that. And then you think about, well, I only have one engine, what do? So it's a little nerve-wracking, a little bit. Still a little uncomfortable.
Cory and Pete are also on edge.
Wow. That's nasty. This low, that's gonna be moving up the coast. When these two start overlapping, we're gonna see this low feed moisture to that cold front, and it's gonna look like this picture.
Two storms are set to collide on their flight path.
This low matures into a big tropical disaster, feeding all kinds of moisture in there.
They have to leave in less than an hour.
But we really need to go.
Or they could be stuck here for days.
This is good.
But Russ has finally worked his magic.
Who'd have thunk it? Stupid regulator valve. Guys awake?
Bargo, what's going on?
Well, I finally got some good news.
We do?
Yeah. The oxygen works.
You fixed it?
Yeah, we unseated the valve and now it's working fine.
Sometimes it's the simple things that cause big problems. A valve was stuck, and Russ pried it loose.
Your chariot awaits, boss.
Nice job, buddy.
Well, we try.
So how did you finally break it loose?
Well, we exercised the valve a little bit. It must have been inactive for so long that the valve just seated. So let's hop up there and give her a test.
Okay, Bargo. Let's hope for some green
Here it is.
here.
Red bad, green good.
Oh!
It's magic!
We got oxygen.
Smell it. Magic. Smell it. Smell it.
Nice. Hit me. Come.
I like it. Good job.
That's those little things in their world.
We're just gonna do a systems check real quick, make sure everything works, top off with fuel, and we're shooting northeast, hopefully before this storm rolls in.
Very good.
Russ makes sure their weapons are ready to deploy.
These guys are flying over some pretty rough weather in the winter, and icing could be a real big problem. And you see so many surfaces that are just exposed on this airplane that you could pick up a lot of ice.
The Caravan's leading edges are equipped with de-ice boots. They're tougher than they look.
You have to wait until a little bit of ice builds up on it before you pop the boots, and this will actually inflate, crack the ice off. The ice goes off, and then you've got a nice clear airfoil again.
You ready, boss?
Yeah, man.
Let's fuel up and get out of here.
Let's hit it.
I guess it's go time. This is always the heart-wrenching part of the job. You start second-guessing everything.
Cory needs to strap in
Let's brief it up.
for a shakeup in the cockpit.
60 hours of flying, every weather scenario possible. Huge learning opportunity for you. I want you to fly like you're a captain. I want you to start thinking like you're a captain. I will push Cory 100% to be acting as the captain on this trip. Make the decision. Here's the weather. Figure it out.
Last year, I flew a bunch of planes, but I was mostly sitting in the right seat. This flight, I want to prove to Pete, prove to myself that I can fly the plane. I can do it by myself.
Cory knows how to fly a plane, but a captain needs razor-sharp focus, and that is going to be a challenge.
My personal life definitely suffers. You know, I've been separated from my wife. I do the best I can, and when I'm with my kids, I try and spend some genuine time with them, but it's tough.
Daddy.
I'm gonna miss your birthday.
Well, Cory's got some personal challenges right now that he's dealing with. It's very distracting. I get all of that. Been there, done that. And he has to learn to keep that out of the cockpit. All right?
Let's do it.
Cool. Set it.
Go.
Let's get the dogs in the kennel. All right, Chief, you ready?
Yep.
And Baton Rouge Tower. Caravan 388, November Tango is ready for departure, runway 31.
Caravan 388, November Tango, Baton Rouge Tower, wind 280 at 7. Turn right heading 050, runway 31, clear for takeoff.
Power set, pressure and temperatures look good, airspeed's alive.
Outstanding. All right, you're clear right, clear on course.
We're finally out. Baton Rouge, we're making tracks in the air. My first time flying a Caravan.
The adventure is on.
Awesome. I love it.
For Marcio and Carey,
It doesn't look good, does it?
winter delivers a sucker punch.
Stay here now? No. We're going to England.
Yeah, when?
Soon. No? What's gonna happen?
Snow.
It's gonna get worse? It'll close the runway? How long do we have?
Now, I would say around 30 minutes.
We have about 30 minutes, all right. We got 30 minutes or the runway's closed? Let's boogie.
Let's get out of here.
The runway's gonna be closed for maybe the rest of the day, so we've got to get out of here while the runway is still clear.
From Europe, Carey and Marcio will arc over the North Atlantic, crossing paths midair with Cory and Pete. They'll butt up against some of the same obstacles too. 3,600 kilometers of icy ocean and weather that changes faster than a NASCAR pit crew. They'll then cut cross-continent to deliver the plane in Vegas, covering 28% of the globe in their tiny single prop.
Okay. Preview flight plan. Okay, we just got our flight plan on, so we gotta go. Carey, you good?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right.
You see your side of the tail?
That's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good.
Say something, say something.
Check.
Okay, there you go.
I can't hardly see the taxiway here.
Hello.
little girl. How have you been? Ready for another crazy adventure?
November 537 Charlie Alpha, ready for departure.
Runway 07, cleared for takeoff. Bye.
Thanks for help, November 537 Charlie Alpha. Your engine's up. Looking good, everything on the green.
Speed's alive.
Alive. 80 knots. Go ahead and rotate. Coming up.
Engine instruments still in the green.
That vibration.
I don't know. Don't like it.
This vibration.
That is not good.
I think it is.
Engine.
Huh?
It's the engine.
But it's not doing anything.
No.
Let's put an autopilot so we can. What's going on?
Oh, it's too rich.
Carey thinks the engine is choking on too much gas, so he cuts back on the flow.
Our fuel flow was way above what it was supposed to be. So that's what was running so hot. I mean, that's what that roughness was.
The engine is purring now, and they climb to 20,000 feet.
Oxygen required. Wow, that's cool. Let's do that.
Flying high, the Cirrus can go faster using less fuel, but the thin air makes it tough to breathe.
How much you put in it?
I'm just gonna give it like the first notch, just so I can feel it.
Air November 537 Charlie Alpha, requesting higher, 220.
November 537 Charlie Alpha, climb flight level 220.
Climb 220, Charlie Alpha.
As the Cirrus climbs to a higher altitude, the oxygen level takes another dive.
Radar on November 537 Charlie Alpha, flight level 220.
And suddenly, so does Marcio.
How you feel, Marcio?
Feeling just okay. Great.
When your brain is starved for oxygen, feeling not great comes just before passing out.
You know what I should do? Maybe change the mask.
How does it say?
Well, let's do that. And I'm off one for a second, okay? Don't unscrew yet.
When you're flying this high, sometimes the nose pieces won't get you the oxygen sufficiently, so I'll switch to the mask and hopefully that'll give a high enough flow.
I don't know what's going on.
There, I'll get it.
Do you really feel it?
Where's that other piece?
Marcio hasn't been breathing any oxygen for 3 whole minutes. Without it, his brain can't function, and his cells will begin to die. It's called hypoxia, and it's killed countless pilots.
While Marcio's struggling with his mask, his brain is getting starved for oxygen. Everything's starting to fall apart. I'm getting a little concerned. If he gets any more hypoxia, he could actually pass out.
Feeling all right, Marcio. Put your headset in. Feeling a little better? Yeah, you were off oxygen for a little while. That probably was hard on you. 22,000 is no joke, man.
I thought I was about to pass out. I was almost a little panic.
A bit panicky?
It's just like, you get the air, but there's no oxygen. My thought process was slow, really slow, and I tried to figure this out, and you can't figure it out.
I know, man. I could see it. You couldn't figure out. It's like a puzzle, and you're like, I don't know what's going on anymore.
Man, this was messed up.
Could you imagine if you're by yourself trying to do that? Switching it over, and all of a sudden you get hypoxia.
230 for 220.
That's it, you're done.
Spawn 901, hello,
A dead man. Wow.
Hey, you might have a nice little headache this evening from that adventure. I'm glad you're back. I need my Marcio to help me fly the airplane, you know.
It's been 2.5 hours since Cory and Pete left Louisiana.
I'm gonna call and get an update on our weather.
Okay. Good idea.
November 8 November Tango, roger. It looks like right now there is some icing indicated across that entire route of flight.
2 storms up ahead threaten to box them in.
It almost looks like we're like right on the verge of being in it.
Yeah.
Because look, there's moisture. Probably should get above those clouds.
Yeah, we need to get above.
4 hours ahead over New England, the storms are colliding into a mega blizzard, so destructive, authorities declare a state of emergency. Millions are bracing for hurricane winds and record snowfall. And thousands of commercial airliners are grounded.
I'm asking the general public to make decisions that are wise.
I think we're in it, boss.
Okay, let's climb. Atlanta, 388 November Tango. We're gonna climb another 1,000 feet, 13.5.
Cory's training to be a captain. He needs to focus as he navigates his first major storm.
Would you mind take the controls for a sec so I can try and calm my son before he goes to bed?
Yeah, got it.
Hey, buddy, what are you doing? I'm in the airplane flying right now, but I wanted to call you before you went to bed.
There's a saying among pilots: if you can't leave your worries at home, stay home.
Cory, flip the ice light. Flip on the ice light.
I'm proud of you, buddy. Well, have a good night, and tell Brenna that I love her when she wakes up, okay?
Outside the cockpit, the storm is bumping up against the Caravan.
Right on the verge of it snowing. So we're doing what we can to get there as quick as possible. Think the clouds are gonna come up, or do you think we're gonna stay on top of this?
I don't want us flying into ice right now.
Thank you.
I need to go a little higher to get over this next bowl.
Well, I think we'll be hitting the bottle. Oxygen bottle, that is. All right, where's our oxygen mask?
The temperature we're at, there would be massive icing down below. But we're picking up light icing right now. Would you like to go higher, sir?
Yeah, let's climb some.
The Caravan is rated to go into icing conditions, but it does not handle ice well. Ice will kill you. Ice, when it accumulates, it will stop the airplane from flying. It doesn't matter how much power you have.
Make that climb a little faster.
Coming up.
What do we got up there? Let me see.
Picking up just a little.
Oh, yeah.
Pete and Cory are losing the battle against the ice.
How you look on your side, boss?
Me. It's a problem.
Cory should be resting before he has to take off again. Instead, he's lining up his next job.
Hey, Claire.
Hey, Ned. What's up?
Claire McCauley is a student in Wisconsin. She's also a pilot, hell-bent to ferry fly.
Were you able to get away for those dates that I sent you for this Uruguay trip?
Like, is there any way you can push it back? Because that's when my finals are. Like,
There's no way you can take them earlier or something like that? Talk to your professors?
no. I already tried asking my Spanish teacher if I could take it early, and she said no.
I'll see what I can do. I still have to get this plane over the North Atlantic in the wintertime, so...
Well, delay that trip or something. I don't know. Just push it back. I really want to go.
Oh, I know. I've been wanting to get you on a ferry flight for a long time. Just be ready to go when I get back.
Yep. Have fun. Let me know how your trip's going.
Cool. Talk to you later. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bringing his daughter on board will have to wait. Right now, there's this trip to finish.
Okay, Marcio, I think I want to have you do the takeoff on this one. Shazam!
If a pilot's going to fly small planes over the ocean, he needs to learn as much as possible about the systems in the airplane and how they work.
Remember, it's not a jet. Don't point it at the sky. Everything looks like it's in the green. Yes, undercarriage, mixer set, props pump. Da-da-da, let's go.
Marcio's skills will get a workout on the way to Wick, Scotland. Just in time for the 3,600 kilometers of open ocean and unpredictable weather.
Once you take off and start flying, just let it go. Don't try to lift it up. We just need to climb a little bit.
If you don't start doing takeoffs and landings, you'll never get comfortable in the airplane. You just got to do it.
There you go. Just nice and slow and easy. I'll get the flaps when I think you're ready. Go on at that pitch down. There you go.
Got it.
Oh, yes, very nice.
Woo! Marcia drives an airplane with a propeller.
That's about time, my brother. Ha! That was a real nice takeoff.
A lot of these propeller guys, they look at us a little different. They just think that we are just maybe too comfortable.
Go ahead and give me a direction, Art, please.
We're not just pilots. We're managing a cockpit.
It's Marcio's turn to teach Cory a new trick, how to program the autopilot system.
Okay, that's good. So,
Doesn't look right, though.
No, yeah. Okay, you gotta put nav, remember? Nav.
I'm a basic stick and rudder man.
I don't like to let technology do the flying for me. I don't enjoy it. I like to be hands-on. I like to do the flying myself.
Okay, hit heading. No.
Nori.
I plan.
Cory's weakness is the technology. This airplane is very modern, is one of the most modern aircrafts out there.
Marcio has faith in technology, and he's determined to pull old-school Cory into the modern world.
You know, enough of this hand-flying nonsense. You cannot be flying this and looking at that and dealing with the radios.
Yeah, but you already know how to run this flight management system. What you need practice is flying this airplane.
Marcio's more of a typical jet pilot than I am. He doesn't really know that much about the actual mechanics of the airplane. So once they get to altitude, they hit the autopilot, and they really have nothing to do until they get to the destination. That's not what this flight's going to be at all.
The airplane wants the pitot heat.
What's with you and your pitot heat when we're not needing?
Because this thing, it gives you a message. See? I don't want a busy screen if something goes really wrong.
The plane's computer takes the better safe than sorry approach, like telling pilots to warm up the pitot, the instrument that monitors airspeed. Cory doesn't want an electronic chaperone.
No, you should put your pitot heat on because I'm the computer and I know best.
I want this thing to be clean because if we have something that is bad, it's going to show up here.
I don't use electricity I don't need, so I never turn the pitot heat on unless I'm in icing condition.
Honestly speaking, Cory's in command, but I'm the boss. So I'll let him do whatever he wants to do until he crosses my comfort zone.
Just put it on even though we don't need it. The airplane doesn't get unhappy.
Start to accumulate a little bit more.
Yeah.
Cory and Pete are struggling to stay above the storm clouds, but a layer of ice is building up on the wings.
Will you
27.
poke your head over here?
Yeah, go ahead and blow the boots.
Okay, you ready, boss?
The de-icing boots inflate to break up the ice and throw it off the wing's edges.
That's awesome.
But there's a limit.
De-icing boots, that's not the fix-all. If we start accumulating a lot of ice, it's a problem, a big problem.
It's still very hazardous because it changes your airfoil shape. It adds drag, it adds weight to the airplane.
We waited another few seconds to pop the boots.
Blowing the boots just buys you a little time, and the ice can accumulate faster than those boots can blow it off, and then you die.
That's some angry looking. Cory, pop the boots.
Good time?
Yeah.
Okay, here they come. Boots coming on.
Cory and Pete are cornered.
We're getting pounding on our speed, all the way down to 125 knots. 120 is our minimum for icing.
Any slower, and the ice will pile up faster than they can blast it off.
November 8, November Tango did have one pilot report, and that aircraft was picking up light clear ice at 15,000 over.
Roger, copy the PIREPs, appreciate it. Okay, I think that was the show killer, was the clear ice report.
Clear ice can build up all over the wing, and it's shatterproof.
He's got clear icing short of destination right here, okay? This plane can't handle clear icing. And makes basically speed brakes on the wing.
So what do we do?
We're not gonna risk our lives. We descend into clear icing, that's gonna be an emergency.
Pete makes the call.
Yeah, let's get down there kind of hastily, okay?
Okay.
Beautiful.
Well, we made it.
That was a day of professional flying. That wasn't for the amateurs.
We still got ice. Ice that we picked up coming in. Look at all that. There's chunks of it.
We lucked out. It's not even snowing yet here. It was snowing like, what, 10 miles out?
The forecast shows a huge storm coming in, calling for a couple feet. We probably are going to be stuck here for a couple days.
Cory and Marcio are cruising through clear skies.
Wow, this is crazy. It's gorgeous.
Finally, jet-loving Marcio can see why Cory prizes his prop planes.
Flying down below here, it's so much cooler to see the scenery, you know? The jets, I'm always flying so high. You lose all this.
I mean, that's got to be one of the Scottish locks. I wonder if that's Loch Ness. Very fortunate today, my friend. Luck is on our side. I see Wick.
Wick approach, November 537 Charlie Alpha, passing 5.8 and 18 miles out.
Wick approach, good afternoon, information Bravo currents, runway 31, join report left base.
Roger, 7 Charlie Alpha.
Okay, gas on the foliage tank, undercarriage downwelted. Man, this engine...
No, I think we're doing something wrong.
I know.
The engine is acting up again, and the airport is still 30 kilometers away.
Take control manually. I'm not comfortable being this far out of water, this low, with that engine not...
Okay, I got it.
What we're planning for now is that stopping at any second. Wick 7 Charlie Alpha, we've got a rough running engine. We're going to take it in close.
Bring it. 7 Charlie Alpha, roger, this understood. Need to declare an emergency.
Next time on Dangerous Flights, Killer Cold.
How long is it going to take for them to come and get us?
Nowhere to hide.
Minus 31. Ooh, pretty desolate, man. Very desolate. I don't like how long these shadows are getting right now.
Second guessing the mission.
It's a bad idea. Look at my fingers. Almost frozen.
Man, your fingertips are cold.
It's aviation's final frontier. Cowboy pilots who deliver small, used aircraft.
Battery dead.
Across distances they were never meant to fly.
The joys of Arctic travels.
To the most isolated spots on the planet.
Losing an engine over the jungle is definitely something that you want to avoid.
Weather is the enemy.
Dude, that is lightning. That risk is real and it's waiting for you.
But as long as there's money and fuel to burn,
If it has wings, we'll fly it.
they'll live to fly another day.
Dude, lightning. You see that? Yeah.
12,000 feet over Africa, Randy McGee and Dave Matheson are caught in a heavy storm. And their twin-engine Dornier is low on fuel.
Dude, we're in all sorts of trouble right now, man. I mean, wicked returns. I'm just punching us through it right now.
They started in Yellowknife, Canada. 8 fuel stops and 13,000 kilometers later, they're on the last leg of their mission to deliver the Dornier to the United Nations in South Sudan.
This thing just came out of nowhere.
A storm eats up fuel. Randy and Dave have asked permission to fly around it. But in this part of Africa, nothing's that simple.
All right, Speed, come on, pick up now.
You know, man, storms in Africa are legendary, and this one doesn't look good.
When they left Egypt, they already knew fuel would be tight on this long last leg of their trip.
All right, man, fuel's critical. We need to take off.
Summit 202, request take position. We're ready to take off.
Negative.
All right.
Air traffic controllers refuse to let them take shortcuts over conflict zones.
Is there any chance you could approve us direct?
Negative.
What a dick. I say again, we will be fuel critical. It is imperative we get a straighter line than this.
That means go ask your boss, diphead.
I can't give you permission.
With less than an hour worth of fuel to spare, they push on through.
I've had to go pretty far off course. Actually, it's settling down better than I thought now, but the radar looks bad.
You'll get some more bumps coming up here, but it won't be nothing crazy.
Well, look at this, man. Now we're getting back on course here.
The storm blew out of nowhere. Now, just as suddenly, it's dying down.
It's gonna be awesome, man. We're gonna land in Juba, the newest country in the world after coming from the Arctic. That's pretty cool, man.
Totally. 6 years of work to get this thing to Juba.
The Dornier 228 is a heavy hauler that can land on the worst African dirt airstrips.
I'll be excited once we get there.
Hi guys.
How are you?
Welcome to Juba, South Sudan.
Thank you.
This is Carlos.
Hello.
This is
Carlos, Randy.
Nice to meet you. Work especially with him and his people.
The plane will join the fleet of the United Nations World Food Program, transporting aid workers and supplies all over South Sudan.
This flight was like none other that I've ever done because I honestly believe this airplane being here is going to save people's lives, and it's going to help people and make their country better and make their lives better. And it meant something to me to be a part of that.
Randy and Dave's job is done. For the Dornier, the real work now begins, helping the world's newest country get on its feet. Back in the U.S., on the east coast of Florida.
Guaranteed. And if we don't?
Boss Cory Benson is busy lining up Randy's next job.
Whatever. Okay. Bye. Now we can't leave tomorrow. We don't have insurance. They guaranteed me I'd have it yesterday, then they guaranteed me we have it today so we could leave tomorrow morning, and we can't go.
Cory's a pilot, but lately he's become a risk-taking entrepreneur, selling and delivering planes around the world.
Looks pretty good. It looks like they just updated and put a Garmin 530 in it, which is a much nicer GPS.
Cory has a lot riding on this delivery.
Oh, master on?
Yeah, master on.
For the second time in as many months, he's tackling the world's hottest market for small planes.
Brazil is really hot right now. Their economy's doing really well. There's a lot of people buying airplanes, so we put a big emphasis down there. It really gives us the edge, and it's helped us build this company very quickly. Nav light. Strobe.
Cory has less than 48 hours to make sure this plane is ready to go before Randy shows up. And this is not the only delivery Cory has on his books. He's got another job lined up across the Atlantic. And he's hired 2 new pilots to take on this flight.
Hey.
Hey.
What's up, Rockstar?
What's going on? How you doing,
Show
man?
some man love, brother.
How you doing?
Good.
Pete Zaccanino comes highly recommended.
There's nothing better than being the business owner and knowing that you have pilots like Pete that can fly anything and has flown everything. He was a test pilot for half the planes out there, it seems like. So it's an incredible, almost a bragging right to be able to say that Pete's one of my pilots.
Pete is one of the busiest and best pilots in the U.S.
Gloves, helmet, oxygen.
He races jets, and he's a test pilot. In most cockpits, that makes him a top gun. Pete will be flying this mission with Brad White, a younger pilot with less flying time, but eager to learn.
If there was anyone that I could say in my career that could be a mentor, it would be him. Because he's done more, he's flown more airplanes than anyone I've ever flown with.
But for veteran Pete, there's a dark cloud hanging over this mission.
What happened at Reno? This is nuts, man.
Yeah, it was bad.
Friend of yours?
Yeah, I knew Jimmy. It was a bad deal. Yeah.
4 days ago, at an air show in Reno, Nevada, Pete witnessed a very personal tragedy. One of his friends crashed his plane into the stands, killing himself and 10 spectators.
This is a catastrophic failure. This is bad.
Oh man, so but you're feeling okay? You're
Yeah, got to move forward. And
it sucks, but you know it happens.
yeah, it does suck. It was pretty horrible. A tragedy at Reno, as sad as it is, and unfortunate as it is, does not shake me. You have to move forward from it. You cannot be looking back at it, because fear will kill your mind. And if you're establishing fear in your mind from a tragedy and observing a tragedy, you shouldn't fly.
So this is it right here.
Hey, I like it a lot.
It's actually, I was a little concerned about it. I didn't know if it was in good shape or if it was an old beater that we had to move. It looks pretty nice.
The plane they have to move is a twin-engine King Air, a $2 million 8-seater with some major modifications.
The King Air is the beast. It's an earlier King Air. It's in good shape, but they put in these big motors. So this thing is raging. It wants to get up and go fly.
And there's plenty of flying ahead. 7,500 kilometers from the UK to Iceland and Greenland, on to Canada, and finally south to Quincy, Illinois, 4 days from now.
And our flaps are up. Those are some white cliffs. Those are some white cliffs.
Did you ever think you'd be in the King Air at 2,000 feet off the cliffs of Dover?
I actually did not.
I'm just saying.
Kind of cool, though.
That's very cool.
Cool to the west.
But the sightseeing is cut short when Pete notices something wrong.
Right fuel gauge is not reducing.
Okay.
This one's dropped down, where it's at. This one doesn't move.
One of the plane's fuel gauges is still showing a full tank, but they've already been flying for half an hour.
I think we're going to cut our flight short.
That is a good call.
King Air 78 Quebec Romeo, roger. We're going to start our turnaround and return to shore.
A faulty fuel gauge is bad enough, but Pete knows it could be a sign of a more serious problem.
Capitan! Cory B. Nice ride.
In Florida, a tired but upbeat Randy McGee shows up for his new mission.
How we doing? How's it going, man?
Good.
It's hot.
Cory Benson gave Randy short notice on this delivery job.
So how you doing, Randy? I know you had a long all-nighter to get here.
Man, I haven't slept much. I haven't eaten for like 16 hours, but I'll be all right.
I owe a lot of the success of my business to Randy. He really helped me get this company off the ground and delivering these planes. There's no way I could have delivered some of these planes without him. Plane looks good. It's just been this insurance nightmare. For the last week, it's been complete bull, but we finally have it settled, so we're ready to go. There she is.
As Cory's designated expert pilot, Randy's job is to get the plane and its crew to their destination, alive.
My part of that process is to move this airplane and make sure the airplane gets there safely. If we don't deliver the plane, we didn't do our job either.
The plane is a 1991 Beechcraft Bonanza, a high-performance aircraft with a deadly reputation for killing inexperienced pilots.
These are the doctor killers, huh?
That won't be a problem for us because I barely made it out of high school, man, so.
In the late 40s, the first Bonanzas came with a V-tail that reduced the drag on the plane. But the design also came with a high fatality rate.
A lot of guys died in this, but really the theory is that doctors are very confident and put themselves in situations that they thought they could handle, but obviously couldn't. And
Just in over their head, get their pilot's license, and then go buy a high-performance, complex plane.
After the V-tail got too much bad press, it was discontinued in 1982.
I think we gotta take it flying here. I mean, it definitely looks like an old plane.
If Randy sounds skeptical, it's because he knows what lies ahead. A 6,000-kilometer-long trek from Florida to Cuiabá, Brazil, with 6 pit stops and a treacherous pass over the dense jungle of the Amazon. The only way to find out if this Bonanza is up for it is to get it off the ground.
Clear. Clear.
And we're off. El Capitan. All right, Cory, everything looks coupled up pretty good there. You're coming up.
That gear's not. I didn't hear the gear, did you?
That's not coming up. The gear's not coming up. We got a gear problem.
The landing gear should retract into the belly of the plane, but it won't budge.
Is it stuck down? That doesn't make any sense. Rather it be stuck down than up, but this isn't good.
Jammed landing gear is especially bad right now. Cory doesn't have time for repairs. The insurance issues already have him behind schedule.
Dude, this is ridiculous. After all the other delays, we cannot have another delay. If this landing gear is a problem, I'm gonna be pissed. Hey man, I don't even want to hear about it right now. We gotta fix this problem and get it on the ground safely, and then we'll worry about the rest. So this just drop it. Dude.
This isn't the first time Cory and Randy have butted heads over their competing agendas.
We need to get going, though. We have to get it there tonight.
If Randy thinks Cory is putting his deadlines ahead of crew safety,
We don't have to do anything.
he doesn't hesitate to pull rank on the boss.
If it gets too late, we'll just have to stay.
And Tower 9-1 Whiskey, I'd like to return for landing with the possible gear failure.
Making that delivery deadline now looks impossible.
This is ridiculous. I understand, man. Let's just get it on the ground here first.
High over the cliffs of Dover, Pete and Brad are test flying the King Air, a souped-up plane they call the Beast.
What's our fuel flow? 250.
Yeah, a little under even.
Getting it ready to fly all the way to Illinois. But Pete's just found a problem.
Well, that fuel gauge definitely is not moving.
A broken fuel gauge is a no-fly item.
When we're in flight, if we developed a fuel leak, the only way often that we would know that is our fuel gauge.
Pete isn't taking any chances. He's aborting the test flight.
Every plane I fly in, I expect is trying to kill me. And that's the attitude I bring to that aircraft. The plane's trying to kill me. It's not my friend. And it has to prove to me it's safe.
So we're sure that fuel gauge is just stuck? And not going into a nice imbalance?
If the fuel is flowing to just one engine, the plane will be dangerously off kilter when they try to land.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right there.
Yep.
Pete banks the plane back and forth to rule that out.
I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have a fuel imbalance going on and have to land with some massively heavy wing.
That is a good call.
Fuel imbalance would be bad enough on a test flight, but a disaster if it hit them on their longest leg.
If we had that over the Atlantic and turned out to be a genuine fuel transfer issue, that can turn into a serious emergency where you could lose fuel to one engine.
Okay, runway is tight. We'll keep our eyes open for birds.
Pete's first landing of the Beast is a rocky one.
Not like that bird right there.
Nope.
He and Brad have a long list for the mechanics.
Gear doors on the left side, the co-pilot's audio is poor, and the right fuel gauge is sticking at 685 pounds. And also, it was a crappy landing. The Beast handles a little bit differently than other King Airs because of the modifications. It's got bigger propellers up front, and that changes how it lands. It has a different feel to it. So I got a leash on it right now, but it still bites at my leg every now and then. Malcolm, what do you think for all those items to be up and running, ready to go?
Well, we'll take a look at the fuel system straight away.
Okay.
The plugs, the socket's not going to be a problem. That's probably a connection there. We'll take a look now.
Okay.
And then
Great.
come up with a plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds
Great.
good.
The Beast will be a full day in the shop, a delay that won't sit too well with boss Cory Benson.
I can't stress enough, guys, the urgency to get this plane to the new owner. He is needing this airplane extremely quickly for his business.
Yeah, that's a roger.
I guess it's time to fly. Get that plane fixed. Let's get in the air.
Roger that.
2 days later, Pete and Brad are back in the air, gunning for the airport in Reykjavik, Iceland.
What do you think about coming in here at night?
If it's dark, then we just shoot it as precisely as possible, because there's a lot of stuff to hit out there.
Yeah, we have a lot of obstacles. We have mountains, volcanoes, and I'm tired.
Since leaving the UK, they've logged about 1,100 kilometers in the King Air. The plane is performing well, but Pete still doesn't trust it enough to land after dark.
When I don't know a plane, I don't trust it, and I tend to avoid night flying in that airplane until it proves to be a safe and reliable aircraft.
Well, what we're gonna do is turn everything up as fast as possibly to make this plane go. Even 5 minutes faster to get there is gonna help, and hopefully not land in the dark. Not the landing, it's all the obstacles and mountainous terrain.
Pete opens up the throttle, pushing the King Air up to top speed.
So he just gave us right there 2 knots by pushing the prop levers up to red line, and we're just coming up with ideas on what we can do to get there as fast as we can.
The red line strategy works. Pete and Brad shave off enough time to arrive half an hour before sunset.
2 mile final, don't have the traffic.
Turn left heading at 290, maintain 4,000 feet.
To make this landing, they have to come in high, or risk slamming into a mountain.
Maintaining 4,000 feet with the field in sight.
Check your altimeter setting. It's showing at 3,000 feet.
Oh, we totally blew that.
They're 1,000 feet lower than they thought. Too close to the ground.
How many times do we brief that? That's what fatigue does to you.
They've set their altimeter wrong.
If it were dark,
After sundown, this simple mistake could have killed them both.
This is not an airport you want to land at in the dark.
It can be a brutal journey, and fatigue is always a factor. You're flying through time zones every day. You're tired. You're eating at different places. You're at different hotels, and that adds to your fatigue. Some people disregard that, and there are ferry pilots that crash every year.
Today, Pete's in luck. Their next stop is Greenland, but the airport is closed on Sunday, so they'll have a day off. Almost 6,000 kilometers southwest, in Florida, Randy's worried that the plane he and Cory are flying to Brazil might have a serious problem.
There we go. Access is the killer. Always is.
The landing gear retracts perfectly, some of the time, but that's not good enough for Randy.
No other red wire going to
No,
relay.
white's up at pin number 5, and red is down.
Cory makes an average $15,000 for each plane delivery, if it's trouble-free.
Every day we delay it costs us money with pilot fees and hotels and everything else. And so from a business standpoint, I'm always pushing the pilots.
Hey man, we're gonna be doing this a lot. This is gonna happen. We just gotta, it's important to me too, but it's just part of the business.
It's the part of the business that drives me freaking nuts.
Everything works like it's supposed to. So, you know, if we can't find the problem to duplicate it, we can't fix it. You know, that's simple as that. You can't fix something that's not broken.
As far as Cory is concerned, if the landing gear won't retract now and then, he's willing to fly with the wheels down. But Randy would rather have all systems working perfectly.
Hey fellas, what do we got? I mean, it didn't work, and then yeah, it worked a bunch of times, and then it didn't work, and then it worked a bunch of times, and that last time it didn't work, and it just...
What I'm saying though is as mechanics, if the system is working, I can't find the problem.
You know, we're gonna be launching into the Caribbean, and if it happens again, and we don't have real mechanics around, I mean, then we're, you know what I mean?
Start changing switches. I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
that's gonna be Chuck's call. I mean, you know, what are you gonna replace? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 switches, 2 relays. You're talking thousands of dollars.
Replacing all the switches because they can't find the bad one is an expensive call that no one wants to make.
the gear is working, but not at the level that it should be working at. We can fly the airplane as is, but we have to know that the system is a little quirky and it's not working, in my mind, entirely correctly.
Randy finally gives in. If the landing gear won't retract, the bottom line is the plane can still fly and land. So they're finally off to Brazil.
Goodbye, Florida.
Are you comfortable? You look like you're pretty stripped up. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
stick up my ass.
Well, I've known that since the first day I met you. But
Just let me know how you're doing. We just gotta make sure we don't get on each other's nerves.
But you're always on my nerves. I just don't tell you.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been on the road 3 weeks straight before we even came into this, so it'd be nice to have at least one day down, you know?
Far up in chilly Reykjavik, Pete and Brad are supposed to be taking the day off.
We'll be taming the beast a little bit more, you know? Kind of getting used to the feel of this guy.
But both pilots would rather be flying. So Pete's going to train Brad for a dangerous landing that's coming up in their trip.
Oh, we got like 20 knot winds or something right now, so we're just gonna go and bust out some practice crosswind landings.
Tomorrow, they'll be flying to Narsarsuaq, a landing strip with a nasty reputation.
The top 10 most dangerous airports in the world is Narsarsuaq, Greenland. And you need to be experienced and have your knowledge of your aircraft all set up before you get there.
Narsarsuaq is surrounded by steep cliffs that create powerful wind gusts. A strong crosswind could knock the King Air off course and send it crashing down onto the icebergs below.
These crosswind landings, the wind is hitting you from one side of the airplane instead of right down the nose the way you like it. The plane likes to turn into the wind at all times. So what we're gonna do here, the plane's gonna be coming to the runway on a big angle like this, and Pete is gonna stand on the rudder and actually end up touching down one wheel and riding on one wheel, and then put the second wheel down, the main gear, and then the nose wheel. It'll be good practice for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna get your lights here for you, big dog.
Thank you. Full flaps.
Full flaps, speed check selected, moving.
The first try for a one-wheel landing doesn't impress Brad.
It kind of felt like they both touched at the same time. Well, you know what? You had this great slip going. It seemed right at the last minute you flattened it out.
Had to put that wing down.
That sucks. All right, really roll her on one, baby.
Pete blows the next one.
It won't do it, dude.
Nope. Flaps moving.
Full flaps.
Full flaps. Engage.
But number 3 does the job.
Oh, that was buttery, dude.
Yeah, baby.
That was buttery.
Man, that was awesome.
That was kick ass. That was fun.
You were killing those things. Good job, man.
Today, Brad and Pete head for Greenland, where they'll put yesterday's flying practice to the test.
Hey, Pete, so I'm just reviewing some terrain charts here.
They're 30 minutes from Narsarsuaq Airport, one of the most dangerous landings in the world, and Brad's got the controls.
Could you give me a little rundown of what we might see?
Yeah, we got an 8,000-foot glacier that we have to contend with, so we can't just descend down.
Okay.
Number 2, the airport is in between mountains. It's in a fjord, okay? So we can't just set up nice and gradual for it. It's a steep approach. It has its terrain on left, right, and behind you and in front of you. So it's rather intense, even if the weather's good. Also, there's icebergs right at the edge of the runway.
All right.
Pete's got a lot more experience with Narsarsuaq than myself. I'm familiar with mountain flying and treacherous winds and all that from my flying in Alaska, but the actual airport itself, they're all different. Doesn't matter where you've been, it's where you're going.
So we're going to be coming from up over here, descending down through all that crap, then having to go out over the water.
Correct.
And then there's icebergs in the way. Wow, we got our hands full for sure.
For Brad, this is a rare chance to tackle the notorious airport, but he's glad to have Pete standing by for backup.
Let's hit it.
All righty.
Let's get down there and have a good look at these glaciers. I want you to see how bad it is. This place is nuts. Look how many fjords you have, and you miss one, you pick the wrong one, you're dead.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Right now, they're headed toward what could be a layer of severe turbulence.
On this arrival, we got 20 knot winds. In that fjord, this is not a flying hippo, by the way. In that fjord, it can get really aggressive with the turbulence and wind shear.
I figured as much.
Oh.
There you go right there.
It's on cue.
As we go floating out of our seats. Woohoo! Ooh, slowing down.
8 minutes from the runway, turbulence rocks the King Air. Brad slows the plane and pulls the nose up to reduce stress on the wings.
Go ahead and pitch this beauty up.
Yep, I got it.
Thank you, sir.
And right on cue.
That was unbelievable.
When turbulence hits like that, the first thing that comes into my mind is the wings coming off. There's design speeds because the planes can only handle so much abuse.
And just when things couldn't get any worse,
We just get a master warning for
Hydraulic fluid low.
hydraulic fluid low. Might have a gear issue here, unfortunately. That's just great.
That's terrific.
if ever they needed their landing gear to work,
You know what, why don't we drop the gear now? Make sure we don't have a problem when we're on Friday.
Right. Gear selected down. It's moving. We got a green on the nose. And left and right. We got 3 green and no red.
Okay, cool. Well, that's sorted.
the gear problem has disappeared.
November 78, Quebec Romeo, turning final runway 07.
But ahead, more to deal with.
Got a long runway. It's windy and it's going to have wind shear.
Yep.
So, what are you thinking for speed? There's some big flipping icebergs out there. Holy smokes.
500.
All right, let's go final flaps, please. Final flap selected. Speed is good.
With a cool head and a steady hand, Brad conquers Narsarsuaq.
Welcome to Greenland.
There we are.
They've now completed 3 legs of their mission. Only 4 more to go. Far from the land of icebergs and glaciers, Cory and Randy fly over the turquoise Caribbean on their way to Brazil, with working landing gear that hasn't let them down so far.
Yeah, there's a ton of people on that beach. Stay focused, but make it look good. Got a big audience down here in Hollywood.
They're coming into St. Martin, dead tired and in desperate need of some shut-eye.
Nice one.
Canada Daily at 317.
They might get some forced time off right now. Turns out their pint-sized Bonanza is too small to rate immediate attention.
The handler said that there's a bunch of big airlines that they have to fuel up first, some of those 757s and whatnot.
It's a problem ferry pilots know all too well. They only need 300 liters of fuel, so they have to wait for the big planes that might be buying 200 times as much.
They're gonna get the big guys out of the way before they'll come fuel up a little guy.
Cory isn't happy, but for once, he isn't worried about his delivery deadline. He even decides to take advantage of the delay for some fun.
This airport's very well known because everybody can stand right up on that fence, and there's a huge planes that come in and land right on top of them. So it's going to be fun to see. I've seen it on YouTube and the internet a bunch. I've never seen it in person.
Here we go. Here we go. I like it. This is going to be fun. We're at work right now. We're working.
Cory and Randy have had a few high-tension moments on this trip, but by now, they've put it all behind them. And that's a good thing, because they're gonna need all the good vibes they can get for the next leg of this journey. In Greenland, Pete and Brad have just barnstormed their way through some serious turbulence. They're 1/3 of the way to delivering the King Air to Quincy, Illinois.
Ready? Yes.
While the plane is refueling, they check out the icebergs in the fjords near the airport.
We're now taking a look at what's ahead of us. When we depart and head to Goose Bay, we'll be flying over a very extensive ice pack field full of icebergs. Holy smokers.
Imagine having to land the airplane in that and not only survive the crash, but then you got all that to deal with. I mean, you're done.
Look at the size of that.
Being in Greenland reminds me a lot of Alaska, and I actually consider Alaska to be my home. With the mountains and with the glaciers, the animals, I actually got really homesick.
Brad was a medevac pilot in Alaska. Now he flies as a contract pilot in Afghanistan when he's not ferry flying. He spends about 8 months a year in the air.
Being a pilot is definitely difficult on home and family life. You're traveling all the time, and you lose a lot of friends and you miss a lot of good times with family. Let's roll.
Canada, here we come.
Brad and Pete are now on their last leg across the North Atlantic. They'll head to Quebec City and then onward to Illinois.
You're writing notes and I'm cruising through a fjord.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? Is this boring? Brad's like, yeah, that's great. Look at the mountain.
This is like an average day at work in Alaska, man.
Here we go, the Alaska reference. Okay, when do we stop hearing those? Do I go back in Iraq for on and on?
But we're not flying in Iraq.
We're not in Alaska right now.
I know, but it looks exactly the same. Minus the animals.
It's a neat place. It's special.
It is special. You're special.
Oh, for the love of Moses.
4,900 kilometers south, Cory and Randy are finally getting refueled.
How are you doing? Can we get both tanks topped off? Full up?
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
And Cory's anxious to take off because they still have 4,000 kilometers of flying ahead over the Caribbean Sea and across South America to deliver the client's plane within 4 days.
Hey, Cory.
Yo. Yeah, let's get the hell out of here.
You got her. Yeah, let's get out of here.
Cory's business has really taken off in the past 2 months.
Bye-bye, St. Martin. We'll miss you.
But the schedule's been a killer.
We've got 310 nautical miles to go. I'm a little tired right now. We've had 3 long days, and we're constantly being challenged in one way or another. We're not eating much. I'm sure we're dehydrated because we're not drinking much.
We put in a lot of hours in the cockpit every day. We don't get a lot of sleep. We're jumping time zones. Our body's always trying to catch up, but yet the type of flying we do requires the most concentration because something always goes wrong.
Cory, I'm going to need your help on this flight. Always be double checking these gauges. Every minute, you should at least run your eyes past them, maybe even a little closer than normal.
Okay.
This one engine, we have to take care of it, so it takes care of us.
Extreme fatigue is dangerous enough when conditions are perfect. But suddenly, thunderheads come out of nowhere and close in on the tiny Bonanza.
Whoa. Did you feel that? Yeah, this is crazy, dude. Cory, this is gonna get rough, man. Seriously, this could be really bad. Make sure you're strapped in.
Up north in Quebec City,
78 Quebec Romeo.
Pete and Brad are just landing.
Like butter.
Hey, how's it going? Good. Welcome to Quebec City. Hey, thanks.
Back in cell phone range, Brad makes a call.
We're ferrying this plane from England, and it turns out we're landing in Quincy, Illinois.
He hasn't seen his mother in over a year. This may be his big chance.
And I looked at the map, it's like 300 miles away, and I was wondering if there's any chance you could get down there. I never get to see my mom. She's living in Chicago, and we're taking this plane to Quincy, Illinois. I think it's about 300 miles, and I'm just kind of wondering if there's any way I can see her. You know, I'm getting a free ride there, so.
But a severe weather system moving across the Midwest might put these plans on hold.
We're up here. We got to roll all the way down here through all of this crap. 3 lows.
This could be a real problem. This type of weather can be fatal.
Yeah, this can take wings off.
We need to get moving, like ASAP. Vámonos.
Europe.
Right away, they see that this has the makings of a major storm system directly in their path.
That's a massive cloud in front of us.
Yes, it is.
We will not be going through that.
I am going to request a heading.
Romeo, I'll have on course for you in about 7 or 8 miles once I get you past 3 scattered areas of heavy precipitation.
Yeah, we're just going to talk to you about that. We're looking at it. It's quite significant.
You can see all this red here. Obviously, red is not a good thing. It's painting the heaviest precipitation, and heavy precip comes out of thunderstorms.
Air traffic control comes through, guiding them right around the thunderstorms to calm skies.
There's the airport, I'm pretty sure.
Airport's in sight.
Now, they're closing in on the finish line.
Quincy traffic to King Air, short final. This is low approach only 31. Okay, dude, 140 knots.
200 feet.
Roger.
Miles northwest, inbound for left downwind 31 Quincy.
Guess what? We're in Quincy.
There she is, taking photos.
Brad rolls the King Air to a stop. And here's his welcoming committee.
Hey, we made it. We finally made it. How's it going? It felt awesome to see my mom. I mean, I haven't seen her forever. Yeah. Hey, Mom, this is Pete.
Hi.
My partner in crime.
This is an absolutely gorgeous plane. It has to be fun to fly.
We had fun. I think we made friends with it.
Yep. Pete actually nicknamed it the Beast, and we had to tame the Beast.
Are you gonna miss her?
I think I am gonna miss the Beast.
Really?
Yeah, it was a fun ride. It's always a fun ride, you know, and I'm gonna shed a tear tonight when I see her in the rearview mirror.
I'll tell you, it's worth the 300-mile drive.
Yeah, how
for
about
as infrequently as we get together.
The King Air is finally home. After a tough 7,600-kilometer flight across one of the most challenging routes in the world.
We're done here, and then we're off to the next flight. What that is, we don't know yet. It could be South America, it could be Russia, it could be China. Each one has new challenges. That's part of the excitement.
Over the Caribbean Sea, exhausted as they are, Cory and Randy have made it through a serious thunderstorm.
The further we get away from this, the less problem it should be, so I'll be glad to get away from it.
But now, a new problem. They're running out of daylight.
That sun is setting fast.
Randy switches from visual to instrument navigation.
Cory, we're gonna shoot this approach, but we're not gonna mess around. Roger that.
Next stop, the Joshua Airport in St. Vincent. An airstrip so dangerous, 3 planes have crashed trying to land after dark.
Have to have a special clearance to land at night, even if you're an instrument-rated pilot.
Cory and Randy don't have the clearance, so they're racing to beat the clock.
Thank you, sir. We're cleared down to 1,500 feet, 91 Whiskey Echo.
But they might be too late.
We would like to know whether you are checked out for night operations at the airport.
Okay, sir, I'm not sure how to answer that question. This is our first time at that airport, but we are IFR-rated pilots.
Randy hopes that being qualified to fly by instrument will get him a pass to land.
Joshua advises that we are not able to accept you because you don't have this night operation at Joshua qualification.
It doesn't work. Permission to land is denied, and it couldn't come at a worse time.
Now, this simple flight is quickly turning into a nightmare.
Next time on Dangerous Flights.
Okay, we're tired.
Don't do anything stupid.
Fatigue takes a toll.
Damn it.
Randy puts his foot down.
We pushed it too hard, too long. Let's start talking about taking tomorrow off.
This is cool. It's like a space shuttle.
And a flying computer
What the hell was that?
has a mind of its own.
Slow, 200 knots, 200 knots.
It's like a caveman trying to figure out the Concorde.